All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday, 9 o'clock this morning, 30 minutes till the market opens up as usual. Good to see you, everyone. Grant, Lita, always see you guys. Brian, always nice to see you all bright and early. Hopefully, everyone did pretty well this morning with a couple of those little morning movers. TSHA, nice little pop early, inexpensive stock. But the real excitement thing is I want to talk about Tesla. Okay. So I was just talking to Josh. Oh my God, what just happened? It just popped again? Did news come out on Tesla? Oh my God, we're killing it, this thing. So yesterday I was on I don't know if you guys saw, I'm just going to share this photograph with you right here. So I was on a big podcast with the Money Show, and a lot of you know that I'm going to be at the Money Show, and me and Josh are going to be there on for the, was it 2 weeks, is it? Yeah, the 16th, 17th, and 18th. Okay. So I was on this podcast with some pretty familiar faces. I don't know if you guys saw it, but you had Peter Schiff from Schiff Gold, very big podcaster. Wolf Financial, Jonathan, he's on Fox News all the time. Mike runs the Money Show. So it was a very interesting conversation, and it's going to be. I look forward to being on their podcast. But it was not. It was very funny how some of them, these people are analysts, and they're looking at like the market's going to crash or where gold is, and looking at the CPI numbers and ADP numbers, this and that. And meanwhile, you have a day trader like me coming in, and I'm like, listen, I don't share your enthusiasm or your negativity on what the numbers that's coming out. But I could tell you this, we're killing it on as a day trading, where you look at stocks like I was showing them Tesla and this and that. And you know what really caught their attention more than anything? The level 4. They're like, listen, they're talking about like certain indicators and this and that. I'm saying, hey, we're just looking at the order flow, looking at these big block orders. Look what's going on here and here. And Jonathan was pretty funny. The guy here up on top, his eyes were like, he was looking like, wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't even realize that there was even data was there. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's basically the big difference. So we are stepping into, a very important, how could I say it? Very important part of our education, where you want to be successful. People are starting to realize you have to follow the money. That's really it. Gavin from Wolf Financial too has a huge following on Twitter, almost half a million followers on there. And he was even very impressed about it. And, all these great people are going to be at the Money Show. So please, if you get an opportunity, definitely be there. But getting back to that Tesla trade, I was just talking to Josh about it. And we were saying, listen, I'm probably up, I said like 50-60% of my portfolio is all in Tesla. And we've all jumped in right around here. Now, this is just the swing trades. The day trades are a totally separate account, okay? But it did become day trades also, certain ones. But we killed it right here since August into September. So we had this beautiful Fausto flag, and today we're going to be broadcasting live. If you're on YouTube or Instagram, we're going to stay live here. So please do not log out. We do this once a week here. And then at 12 o'clock, we're going to have an open house. We're going to do a training course for all of you. But just talking on the swing trade part about it, huge buyers. We were big buyers all at these prices. Fausto flag. If you watched my videos, and I'm going to bring them up really quick over here. Let me bring them up. Let me show you. So I know everyone here is following me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. But I'm just going to go to Instagram really quick. And, because they're all the same videos. Let me just go I have to log in for a second. Well, I'm having problems logging in. I hate when this happens. I had to clean out my cache because sometimes you get these stupid messages here. You can't get in. All right, I'll just go to YouTube. All right, let me go to YouTube. I'll go to YouTube. Cyber Trading University. All right. So I'm just going to go over here and just go to I'm subscribed to it. Just going to click over here. And I want to go down where it says the shorts right here. Bring this down. And these are the two biggest videos I thought that really took off. So you have, let me blow this up a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. All right. So this one right here, this one, Elon Musk gets offered $1 trillion, $1 trillion to get, to do what they want him to do. Now, I don't know about you, but like, I think you probably sell your soul to the devil, some of these people, to get to $1 trillion. Does he really need it? I mean, listen, I was looking at the numbers. I mean, he was only a 20 billionaire in 2020. Then he became a 100 billionaire by 2022. Now he's worth 300 billion. He could be the richest. He could be the first trillionaire ever. And believe me, he'll do it. All right. And then I posted this video, the one up here, which is that he just took $1 billion worth of his stock and bought Tesla. That was the other pop. So if you get the opportunity, watch those videos. And most importantly, make sure you subscribe to the channel for some of you so you get those alerts and everything. But we are absolutely killing it on the Tesla trade. And it wasn't just Tesla. Okay. The funny part was when I was on the show with these guys and I was talking about people like, and I tell them, I said, listen, we don't trade Tesla, okay? But we trade the ETFs, and Tesla probably, I think there's over 100 ETFs. And when you go and they're like, yeah, I didn't realize that. Now, when you go over here, look at TSLL. TSLL is always on the most active list, okay? TSLL is the stock that we trade, and I think everyone here does own it, should have owned it right around the $12, $13 price range on a swing trade. So you are the kicking ass right now, really are. And I want to just show you, look, my sister just texted me. She said, I don't know if you guys could see that. We're going to get her on the podcast. She says, Fausto, I'm up $2 on TSLL. Oh, okay. Nice job. I'm just text her and tell her. Nice. But I want to show you my Schwab account. All right. I'm just going to log in right there and I'm going to show it to you and just get in there. So you could see, I don't know if you guys could see it, but I showed it to you guys last time. Those are all the trades that are in there. So I mean, NVYY, I'm making on that, the TSLL, the TSLY, the TSYY. I didn't even realize that TSLL, I just was telling you guys that they even paid me a dividend, I was shocked that they paid me a dividend. Would they pay me? TSLL paid me $178 on 2,000 shares. Not bad. I mean, I'll take it. It's free money. But anyway, not to spend too much time on it. We did really well on the stock. And I don't see any hole. I personally think the stock's going to 500. Okay. I was looking at some of the orders over here, and let me just show you level 4 and bring it up over here really quick. Here's the big orders right here. So here's 500. So 480, I think, is the all-time highs right now on it. So you can see the orders out there for 487. See right there? But those are the two biggest orders: 480, 485, and 500. I think we're going to hit it. I think we're going to hit it. So hopefully you guys are having a great call options and doing good. Okay, Alex, I'm in Tesla from 354 on a swing on your call. Thanks, Fausto. Alex, you're more than welcome. Alex, and we're going to see you. Looking forward to seeing you. Alex Poe is coming to the onsite. By the way, if anyone here has not registered for onsite yet, don't wait till next year. Okay, we only do it once a year. And I think, Alex, how many times you've been here? 3 times already? Definitely make the opportunity to be there. Rich, just post a link up there and make sure if anybody wants to register and come to the onsite here in New York so they don't lose that opportunity. Anyway, let's go back through the watch list and see what's going on. Actually, before we do that, let's talk about what they missed yesterday, right? We had a lot of nice little movers yesterday. Yesterday, I thought was probably the better of the week. as movers, and especially in the morning hours. But Intel did really, really well. That's another good swing trade, you know. And you know what's nice about this story about the Intel trade? The difference. And listen, don't take this personal. People get so damn, politically upset. And I just tell them, if you're that, you know, um, biased, then short. But the difference between this administration and the other administration is the past administration, like, I don't know if you remember the financial industry, and I don't want to go over the details about what happened back there with the financial crisis, but they lent all the money really quick to all these people. They bought their stock, and then sure enough, when their stock went up, they gave it back to the government and they gave them a big middle finger. Now, in this administration, it says, yeah, we're going to lend you the money, but we don't want the money back. Okay. We just want to we want to own a piece of you. We're going to be partners with you. And in that situation, Intel, you know what? If you gave Intel the money and you ran up this high, Intel will be like, yeah, we don't want to be partners with you. Here's your money back. But nobody likes partners. Okay. We just want to borrow their money and use it. But in this situation, they're like, no, you need the money to keep you in business, then we're going to be a partner. And sure enough, it's working out for the U.S. government right here. And Intel, obviously, you could see had a big pop yesterday, and it's going to test the high. So Intel's doing great. You know me, I've always been a big fan of Intel. Intel is like my first girlfriend when I first got into trading. Intel was the NVIDIA back in the day. So that did great. Okay. Another one that also got nervous, Pfizer. Pfizer, you know what? Got yelled at, got in trouble. President Trump's like, listen, enough you making your crap in China. You better start making it here. They were the first one that stepped up to the plate. Pfizer hasn't gone absolutely nowhere. You could see over the course of the year, look at this thing. The stock been taking a very big hit going back to 2023. This is like one of the biggest run-ups it had. They're going to lower prescription drugs. I don't know why it brings up the stock so much, but in our case, we did great with it. All right. That was another big runner-up. These are all brand name stocks. I was just talking to Josh. He did, getting the SMCI. Some of you guys got into SMCI. Another big runner-up on that SMCI trade. All brand name stocks, been great day trade stocks, and have been great swing trading stocks. EOSE, another great runner-up. Look at this beautiful run-up, $6 stock. Has not only been a good day trade, it's been a phenomenal swing trade. What else that we had? The AMPX still pushing up. I'm putting this back on the watch list. Okay, AMPX. Nice slow mover, moved up great, still trading at the highs, doing great. ASTS, another one, still pushing up pretty well, going back on the watch list. ASTS, a lot of you guys did well on that one too. UAMY, okay, still holding at the highs. Look at the long-term chart at the bottom. Everyone's like, wow, those things really had some really good moves. You know what? They might back off. We might get a little correction. I get a little nervous when stocks go up too fast. And Bill Ireland, I didn't get to the PL. That was my last one. I was saving the best for last, okay? But PL, I was just, I always have these meetings with my staff in the morning, and especially with Josh, because we're trading you guys in the morning. And I was telling Josh this. I didn't tell you guys this, but I sold PL on this day right here on what is this? Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday, right? It started going back down. And I got out right around 12:30, okay? And then I'm like, okay, good thing it went down, because it's, listen, we own the stock at $10, all right? So, making 25% is pretty good. Then there was this big pop right here, right? And then I'm like, shit. I'm like, damn it, what the hell's going on? So I end up buying it back. And I'm like, and I don't like buying things back on a swing trade, but I'm like, you know what? It's back up to where it was. It's holding here pretty strong. It's going into the close. You know how we trade going into the afternoons. The trend is your friend. You don't want to buck that trend. I ended up buying it back at I think I paid like $12.70 after selling it like at $12.10. I'm like, shit, I got to pay freaking 80 cents more than what on 1,000 shares, it's like $800 more. Thank God I bought it. And then the funny part, and this is where your luck comes in. On CNBC, they were talking about it. And that's when we had the big run on it. And that's yesterday. And that's when we had that pop right here from 1290. and the thing just popped to 13.20, and then obviously the story keeps going on. Anyway, great run up. Who here has PL? Anyone here trading PL? I know a bunch of you basically have it. Remember, like, the thing is, I can't tell you what to buy and sell because I'm not here all the time. That's what you learn in class. We did phase 3. We just finished it yesterday. The new cycle will come up, but these are things you have to learn. Albert, you have it. Bill, you have it. Still holding from 10, Thomas. All right, good. I'm glad everyone's doing well. So if you own it at 10 and you're at 14, I mean, you're almost about 50% on your money, Tom. That's awesome. All right, let's go through the watch list because here I'm talking away, and I know we have a lot of people on social media going to get ready. Remember, we're going to be broadcasting live. We do only do this once a week, okay? But you could always come here every day by clicking that QR code right here. If you guys want to click that QR code, there's that free QR code. You take your phone, scan that QR code. We're going to be here all day. But, if you want to come and join our trading floor. So anyway, let me go through the watch list and see what we got going on. I saw this stock, but she's starting to trend down, so I'm not a really big fan of it. I like the spread. I'll put it on the B list, CIGL. All right, we'll keep an eye on that one. DKI, nice, stock got, you know what? The stock got hammered, destroyed. You know what? Dead cat bounce. You know me. I love that. I love stocks that get crushed. And then all of a sudden people start averaging down. TSHA, that one's pretty good. TSHA, good spread, good movement, $3 stock up to 4. Obviously, we're going to find the small caps early in the morning. IVDA, on a downtrend, not a big fan of it. Love the spread, though. Very good pricing, but she's on a downtrend. Pass on that. PALI, that stock took a very big hit. Was up big yesterday. It's up a little bit this morning. Good spread. Could be on the B list. PALI, 14%. Nope. This thing keeps going up every day. This is a nice level 1 stock for you traders. We don't think we traded it, but we put that on a watch list. That's not bad. Still pushing up. This is how these day trades turn to swing trades. A little bit of a big spread right there. Level 1 stock, CAN. Another decent stock right there. Nice little push. Is this an IPO that opened up? We're going to stay away from those. All right. Let's go to losers. Here's a stock that got destroyed and could be a little bit of a dead cat bounce. It is gapping up a little bit after, I guess, I don't know if that's earnings, whatever, but that does not look good. Fuel stock. Listen, it's not a pharmaceutical stock, so we know they do come back. UFG. All right. VSA. Nope. New York Stock Exchange. What we got going on over here? ANGX. New stock. Looks like a big spread. Maybe not. FICO. Nope. These old stocks are not what we're looking for as trend goes. Losers. Nothing there. All right. Sorry, guys. Plug was also good. Yes, April. PLUG. PLUG. Plug was a very good trade from yesterday, but it's getting close to resistance levels, so I probably will back off. All right, guys, listen, we got about 9 minutes before the market opens up. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back. Me, Josh, are going to be trading the open and Rich with you guys. So if you're in the cyber group room, you all know you see something, you say something just like we teach you, and hopefully you learned a lot from this phase 3. I think yesterday was probably the better of all the classes because remember, you can't predict what the market's going to do. And then if you're watching on social media, do not go anywhere. We will be right back within 10 minutes. If you want to get registered for the 12 o'clock training session that we're going to teach you how to find these stocks, take your phone, scan the QR code that's up there right now, or you can go to www.ctu/co.free. All right. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, guys.
There we go. Fausto, what's going on?
I'm doing good, doing good. Pretty excited. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back, and welcome everybody on social media for the first time if you've been here. And we do this once a week, live broadcast on all social media networks. But if you want to, everyone here in the trading room, you know what it's like here being here every day. Let me tell you, it was a fun day yesterday.
Oh, absolutely. It was just incredible from morning to end. And the Tesla trade, of course, continuing to take off overnight. Even during your morning meeting, I saw that pop up.
Yeah, it just did a nasty slingshot. It was just beautiful. Just went up to like 480 and just backed right off. So I don't know what that's all about, but that's okay. We'll wait the first 5 minutes.
You might be starting to get a bounce on the TSHA. Just for all of our students that are logged inside our trading room, we tell you all the time, just keep your eyes on the chat, especially if you're there in the morning and not trading right away. So I wrote out this morning, Fausto, you had some like historical resistance support right around that four-ish, a little under, a little right there. Starting to make a good bounce right away from it.
Yeah, it sure is. Let me just take that out of everyone's way so everybody could see a little bit more.
Yeah,
I
this one's
also
got good
see,
orders.
it's moving. The Irene did a little bit of a slingshot too. That thing's just been an animal. It's got major resistance levels just under below. There's a huge iceberg order, Josh, at 50, and it keeps testing it, backing off, testing it, backing off.
I'll tell you what, Fausto, I've been speaking to a couple of our new gold students here just the last week or so, right? I want to stick to our watch list
Uh-huh.
because I see some students are starting to get a bit overwhelmed with just hey, we put out the watch list, then immediately there's something that pops. For instance, like the AMPX that you put on the watch list, that's pushing right back on up right now.
Can's moving. Rich just called out the can. The can just popped pretty nicely.
There
Nice
you go.
level one stock, moving up pretty nicely. I don't have the level four set up on it though. I got to check out the orders.
Yeah, I don't either. And you know what? This kind of reminds me a bit like the plug trade a bit. Plug was a nice mover yesterday. Good category one stock that was on our list there too in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was a really nice little category one stock.
On the can trade, there is a buyer out there. It popped up 230,000 shares. Actually, Rich posted the Nasdaq book viewer version of that right inside our chat board.
I'll tell you, everything's up. Nvidia is doing pretty well. That had a big pop. I know we're doing. I don't own too much of it other than the high yields, but they're doing pretty well. All time highs. Intel is doing very well. Just broke that 36 big resistance. Just kind of bring up some of the swing trades because some people get a little, Josh, they get a little freaked out with these inexpensive stocks that we trade that are watching on social media. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know anything about those companies. So, like yesterday, I was on this big podcast with all these big gurus, and some of them were like, oh, my God, I was like, tell me how you really feel. They're like really, really like negative, and some of them just like all over the place. But even I was even confused sometimes what they were saying. I'm like, listen, I just follow the money. I don't take things personal when I look at all these numbers that the government pushes out. Because now you're hearing, how do you know if they're real or not? If they're being manipulated and everything else. So I don't. It's kind of hard to trust any of them.
Just made a call out inside our chat board here, Fausto, just mentioning for the TSHA. If this wants to run higher now, you got to see it at least hold here, hold a higher low. And if it's not going to do that, then this could just be a head fake. So just be mindful of that. We're almost right at the 5-minute mark here.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Rich, that's a really nice photograph of the Nasdaq book viewer he just posted in the trading room. Two beautiful iceberg orders. One at $1.20 for 200,000 and 100,000 at like 126. Very pretty.
Definitely. And that order is out there. Well, I should say it was out there, Fausto. I think that order just got hit right now. Just got broken through on the can trade.
Yeah, he got executed.
Ooh, you know what, too? It was kind of laddering up before it popped up at 120. So let's see what happens here. I'm not fully sold on this dropping immediately. I'm not in it right now. I'm just kind of hawking it, just observing. But we'll see if this can pop up one more time. On the plug trade, pretty funny yesterday, Fausto. We were in class, sifting through. Right now, look what just happened. A new buyer popped up on the can trade. But just to say, though, that you never know what could pop up, right? And maybe about like 8 minutes before we caught it, 200, no, it was like a 750,000 share buy order popped up on the plug trade.
The plug was listen, very cheap stock. It's moving up really well.
A good bounce on TSHA so far, right from that 425-ish, 420, just a little under and over move.
Looks like a nice little shake.
Yeah.
What level you give this, a 2 or a 3?
Kind of directly in between. I'd probably lean to a 3 maybe. Some of these candles are pretty big out the gate, but yeah, right around there.
Okay. Can's trying to go up 2 again.
Bell had a swing trade, looks like. She had a trade on stock that we did pretty well on just last couple days, the APLD stock there. So she just closed out a position. For the Tesla trade, just be mindful there is an order on the sell side right here. And it looks like someone's trying to push it a little bit down.
Wow, let me tell you, that thing dropped $20. Oh, damn, that sucks.
You know what, though? True, but it also popped up overnight a lot, too. So, it's pulling back kind of close to the closing price from yesterday.
Uh-huh.
That's a little, see what happens there.
I would be really careful. Watch this PL. It's holding here pretty strong for some of you on the swing trade. It was, listen, you make your own luck. Okay. We're in the right place, the right time. All of a sudden, you get, they were on CNBC. I don't know if they were talking to the CEO or something, but they were praising the stock. And just when you look at that long-term chart, I mean, that thing is just gorgeous.
Yeah, there's so many different smaller cap stocks that have been going up really like cleanly, perfectly, just the last month or so. And this isn't small cap as if it's like a pharmaceutical, like 1 million share float stock, but it's not Nvidia. It's the same thing as the EOSE trade, EOS. That's like a U.S. energy storage company. Sounds pretty interesting, but they're not Apple, they're not Microsoft, so they're,
No, they're
they're
not.
small cap. They're flying though. They're not like a pharma for like 1 million share float.
It's not doing too well, Amazon.
Yeah, what's interesting? I saw some not hype. I guess someone had some interesting options data that they were talking about from a week ago on Amazon, and I guess that's not doing too good at least.
Can's pushing up and making an HOD. So give everybody a heads up. Those orders got filled, getting a lot of green balls. I don't know. My thought on Amazon is like, I was going to post it, but I didn't post it yet. I was going to post it on my on Twitter or X. I keep calling it Twitter, but I hate that word X. I don't know about you, but me, it's so confusing. But whatchamacallit, Amazon is the largest B1 visas out there out of all companies. I mean, it's like
Really?
huge. So like almost like 3 times the size. I think I mentioned it 2 days ago. And I think that might have something to do with it because now the H-1B visas, they want to raise from 1,000 to 100,000. So, that's not probably going to be too good for Amazon. Now they got to kind of like, they're not going to be paying $100,000 to hire these people. So they have to find someone else.
Yeah, no, agreed. Getting a pop here on the TSHA, it needs to make a higher high though.
Yeah, this is it. The H-1B visas, they got almost 14,500. Second one is Tekla Consulting Services, 5,800, and then Microsoft, which everybody knows is 5,100. So you're talking 3 times, Josh. That's a lot.
Yeah, and that's going to affect the company pretty quickly just because of production or they need to at least complete things like tasks and just day-to-day duty, right? So without those employees, they got to make up pretty quickly, right, for those employees.
Well,
And that's going to be tough to do.
15,000 times 100,000.
I would be careful on the TSHA. It's not making a higher high, and we know what happens if it's not going to make a higher high.
You know how much that is, Josh? 1.5 billion. They have to come up with.
Just a chip on the block for Elon,
They're going to be good ass employees.
Yeah, a signal, Fausto, for a short right now in the market. I don't.
CIGL, you talking about?
No, just the market in general. I
Oh,
get a signal for a short on the market right now, but I don't like that. I don't want to short the market here.
well, I always like going on these podcasts. I don't know if did anybody see the podcast I was on yesterday? Because like that was pretty new for me. Being on with Peter Schiff, the founder of Schiff Gold. Does anybody know who he is?
Huge
But
name. And he's very
he,
active on social himself, actually, but he's been around for a long time within the gold
long
industry.
time, dude. He was anti. I don't know personally. I didn't want to say anything, but I thought he was anti-Trump, and he was just like he thinks the market's going to go down like 25%. With the numbers and this and that. I mean, he was like really like I'm like I was about to I was about to say, man, tell me how you really feel. I'm like Peter. I'm like I don't I don't look at your negativity. I'm like to short the market. Then I'm like I didn't want to say that, but like for me, I'm like, well, I don't know what you're seeing, but for us, we're killing it. The only thing I see that this market will crash if there's a catastrophe. I'm not seeing anything. I see this Dow going to 50,000. It's not stopping. Only thing that's going to make this market crash that I see right now. Listen, they said it was going to crash with the tariffs, right? Didn't happen. You know, inflation, interest rates. Let me tell you, these companies, their job is one thing and one thing only. They don't care, but they got to take care of their shareholders. Okay, and it's their pocket, so they'll do whatever they can to make money. If it's cutting salaries, going to different countries, this and that, but they figured out a way. And with all that negativity, with a new presidency passing all these regulations, you know what? I don't see it unless, like I said, if there's a 9/11, God forbid, another I don't see a financial crisis. By the way, it's going up a little bit more right here. I don't know if anyone here jumped in it though. There's no orders up until about a buck 30. Very cheap stock. Okay, but I don't see anything, of pushing the market down. But I said, listen, if you really don't like it, short it. Wow, I can't believe this. TSLA is now negative.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? The market is pulling back a bit. I should have pulled the trigger there, but right now, this is where, again, we're going to scrap a couple from our list. We want to start with our list to kind of go the first few minutes with it. Um, Get a good pop on QBTS, Fausto. It's like 6%. It's like flying here, but with the market dropping, it's just something I don't really trust fully.
Well,
Looking to get a pullback.
we're getting big pushes on Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is getting close to that 120,000. IBIT's doing pretty well. Coinbase is doing phenomenal. Rigetti, RGTI. Nice pop on that. Very good call, Michael, on the
Yeah, a lot of
Rigetti.
the quantums are doing good.
Yeah.
Also, uranium, I think all about you. Pulling back a little bit. It's only up 3%.
No, Rigetti's flying. Is SMCI? I know you were talking about SMCI. MCI is not really going up that much.
No, no, it's just kind of hanging out here.
Yeah.
That's going to take a few days to keep going up, I think. I was waiting for yesterday's move for a bit, so now that we got yesterday's move out the way, we're filling that gap. It's like like you said, unless if something drastic happens unexpectedly, knock on wood, over time it's going to fill that gap more, I think. So.
By the way, everyone remember SMCI did a 10-for-1 reverse stock split. That stock went from like 200 to 1,200, and they did a reverse stock split. So
Not only that, remember, folks, like this is where, I don't follow the news too much, but when you hear, hey, like it last year when their accounting firm Ernst Young bailed on them, you're like, yeah, you're not really a transparent company. We're not going to work with you. I'm not really a fan of hearing that. So don't think like I'm a giant fan of the company and what they do, or I'm just following the chart. That's all we're doing. And the orders. We're following the money. Andre took the spy put there. I'm back testing a couple of things. I've been saying this for like a month now, but I was gonna pull the trigger on that. I just didn't. Bitcoin's pushing up pretty nicely though here.
yeah, it's pushing up really nicely. I'm just very a little disappointed. Tesla's really going down pretty fast.
It's kind of it is, but like it's the whole market though. It's like
And well,
SMCI.
the Dow's still holding pretty strong. S&P's down a little bit.
Broadcom made a nice move this morning. I had that on my personal list this morning. I'm only mentioning it now because it's just tanking. So, yeah, I like the Rigetti and the QBTS combo. That those are pretty good at hand in hand together.
Yeah, you
The
know what? The
can
only
trade from 120. Everyone should have gotten in at least from that iceberg on the bid at 120.
All right, I probably just see from what I'm reading here, it's probably just some quick profit taking on Tesla. Let me just one thing I'm a little concerned about also regarding about I don't know if everybody knows that they pulled the mandates to set the $7,500 tax credit, so that is going to hurt a lot. So I don't know if even here it got, and that goes for Ford at all these cars, but BMW, everything, but obviously Tesla. I told you I bought one. $350 for my son. I thought it was the best deal ever. And by the way, I just let everybody know a little business, business decision. If you bought one of those cars, your car just went up $7,500 in value.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys know that. So you got the tax credit. They took the price off the sticker. Now it went back up. So if you did get it, look in the secondary market. Your car, if you own it, or even lease it, you could buy at the end of the lease. Chances are it's worth that much more money. So for electric cars, because that
So
mandate is gone.
just to give you a heads up, CAN, long while ago, we were on top of this, like 4 or 5 years ago with this trade. It didn't do that great, but we know it because it's a Bitcoin mining stock. It's not as big as Mara or Riot or Iron or any of those. But with Bitcoin popping right now, I guess maybe some people see value in this, maybe closing shorts and just getting out of their trades there. Mara just had a good pop right now too.
PL had a good pop. It looks like it's making HOD also, Josh. Pre-market highs was 1478. Looks like we're getting there.
And you got resistance at 15 likely, just kind of thinking about $5 prices.
I don't know what to push it on the stock on this PL, Planet Labs, but this thing is just going up way too fast. It's breaking all-time highs. Stock hasn't been around there that long. It's only been around for 1, 2, 3, 4 years.
Mara's flying right now. And again, yeah, you're getting a good push on that PL. The AMPX from our watch list going back up too. There was some good opportunity, folks. If you missed out on the can when we told you to get in, or where we called out that buyer, I'll say we can't legally tell you where to get in and get out, right? We don't do that, but we just say, hey, read between the lines, right?
Josh, Bitcoin's getting really close to that 120,000.
Yep, I think it's gonna, at least test it. Maybe
Is that
false
all-time
break
high?
it, but
Is that all-time highs on that or no?
no. I think like 125. It's either 5 or 8, 125 or 128. I think
Was that
it's
high?
125.
Yeah, you're probably right, because the easiest way to look at it is I see where Bitcoin was, IBIT, and I guess the high on IBIT was on August 13th, and it hit just under $70, 69.89.
Yeah, all-time high
Albert
for
said
Bitcoin
Bitcoin
is
was
like basically
24,000, 124.
125,000.
Mara, Dre is saying, when the heck did Mara get options?
I thought they always had options, no?
I think everything has options.
I don't trade them that frequent, but I just always thought they were one of the ones that had options there. Oh, Kevin, your D Pro's going again. Just take a look at that graph, Rich. Kev's been doing great on that trade since a couple days ago. Yeah, wow. I forgot about this for a second, Kevin. Geez, you were killing it on this trade.
That's why. Listen, I always tell everybody, Josh, and all the students here, the way we all make money together, and the way I make my money is that somebody sees something, says something. Once you learn how to play the game and you get it, it's two heads are better than one. But we have over 1,000 heads that are in our trading room now, so which is awesome. Yeah, I think it's pushing up really nicely. Great call.
I don't know what just happened here. I found myself in a trade. I guess I had an order out there that got filled. I made 9 cents, but what the hell? Close that trade out immediately. That's not supposed to happen.
By the way,
Uh,
anyone here on social media, I'm going to post this link up for you really quick. We're going to be back. I'm going to be doing a training course at 12 o'clock. You got that little QR code that just came up on your screen. Just take your phone, scan that QR code. It's also on the top left-hand corner. Or if you want to just type it in, you can go to ctu.co/free. And we'll teach you a little bit more about level 4 and level 3, how we follow these orders, how we find these stocks, so you know how to play the game of trading. So just click on that QR code, scan it, turn your phone on, it'll bring you to that page. All right. But yeah, DPRO is moving up really nicely. Man, I think it's really flying. We're already at 1070. Where's the orders? I don't have it on level 4. I didn't get a chance to put it up. DPRO.
just trying to keep continuous with some of the alerts that we post in our alert system in our trading room. So I was just sending a picture just on something there quick. DPRO is doing incredible though. This is the company that came out with the Army contract 2 days ago. Kevin was telling me.
Okay, it's got the orders right around 11. It looks like you got about 14,000, 18,000. It's sitting there. I think it's going to stop right here. I wouldn't get too greedy. I mean, that's literally about $1 run. You should be done for a day. If you made $1 on $1 a day, keeps Fausto and Josh and Rich away. Oops, I think it's executing him though. It just bought 8,000 of it. 10,000 is left. 9, 10. Guy's refreshing.
Yep.
At 1090.
Genevieve, are you in on the DPRO trade too?
He got taken out. All right, now it's going to 11. Took him out.
Melted that thing.
For some of you that are watching on social media, let me go out there and share you what I see so you guys could see it. Hold on. Why can't I do this so you guys could see it? Here we go.
Uday, on the PL trade, I think it's just a matter of it failed to break the pre-market highs at 8 o'clock. That was a level that was there from pre-market.
Is that order if you guys are watching on social media what we're talking about? All right.
Bell, nice job on the DPRO trade there. I got pretty much a buck out of it. My Soon trade's going back up again. Pretty happy about that. Still riding out the swing, but it's a great day trading stock too. It's like kind of the same line of thinking as Rigetti and QBTS. As long as the stock is within your price range, it has a good order book. That's what matters most.
I just happened just to look on the New York Stock Exchange, and see what was on there. And I didn't know there was another $2,000 stock.
Which one?
This one right here, FICO. It's up about 500 points. That's a hell of a run up. My God, I never seen something that big.
FICO is in like FICO score?
No, Fair.
I'm like, wait, really?
Pack Corporation? I don't know what the hell that is. I have no idea, but that's pretty.
No, yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, that's the
FICO
company.
score?
They're the leading applied analytics company. They're primarily known for its FICO credit scores.
And it's worth $2,000. Interesting. Who would ever think?
Right?
Who would ever think?
That's funny. I mean, this flew from 500 up to 2,500 practically in the last couple of years.
Kind of scary though. I mean, back in May when we had the Liberation Day, it was at 2,200 and dropped all the way down to 1,400. The DPRO looks like it's consolidating here right around 11. Just give you guys a heads up on that. And you all know that as if you were one of our phase 3 students, you'll probably know what that means, what to look for.
Let's see the SMCI trade. Oh, it's already bouncing, I guess. I thought it would drop down even lower, so that's good. What else we got?
Cans going up. Very slow. I know it's a little bit more it's a boring stock, but if you are a beginner trader, a kindergarten trader in our classes, or just started, You're doing pretty well on this one. I mean, listen, I liked it. It was on the watch list. You should have jumped in if you got in a little bit late. Let's say you got in at like $1.20, $1.30, 1,000 shares, 100 and, close to $150.
Definitely. And listen, after the first 5 minutes, that's when we should trade. So, right after the 5 minute mark, that buyer popped up at 120. And just like you said, it's like, not the 2000% mover,
Mhm.
but it's money that you didn't have before the morning started, right?
Exactly.
That's how we treat that trade.
Joyce is saying TSHA is moving up. I just saw that. I was looking at that. I would pass on that, Joyce. I'm not
It's,
really seeing it's kind of flat.
it's so staticky, like choppy, choppy, choppy.
Yeah, it's choppy. But
Genevieve did really
Genevieve did
nicely on
pretty
that
well
D
on
Pro right there.
ATRO. He made himself almost a buck on that. Way to go.
Yeah, she's been doing great there, Fausto, Genevieve.
Yep. Genevieve's going to be coming here to New York, coming to the on-site, right, Genevieve? By the way, just to remind everybody, you better work on your diet now because you're going to gain it all when you go back. We always make sure we feed you well.
Fausto, I got a call out here. I'm gonna toss it to you because I want to see if you are gonna find it worthy or not.
Which one?
Well, when I tell you about the stock right away, I know you're interested because we were looking at it yesterday. I was, on that in class with students there yesterday. But
Just says somebody on YouTube was this Road Trip Z. He said soon. It's actually SOUN you're talking about. Yeah, that one's moving up pretty nicely.
you're like, not soon. Yeah, well, keep in mind, and Fausto will be the best to explain it, but we kind of nickname our stocks. So
Yeah,
yes, Soundhound AI is the name of the company,
Sound.
but
Yep, Soundhood.
we call it soon. That's just kind of
Soon.
our New York slang, I guess we'll call it.
The trader slang, actually, we call
Trader slang. Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Fausto, that stock I chatted you on just right now. I think there's a
Um.
chance.
Oh, really?
Just look at level 4 for it, and then if you make the shout, then it's just got a bad order book outside of the iceberg.
It does. It does. I know we don't want to call it out yet, but we will if we're ready for it. But I just, I always feel like I get suckered into this stock. But it's been more of a day trading play on that stock than more anything. But we'll keep it on the watch list.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Yesterday, I thought there was more
PRO is
momentum
moving
for
up.
the afternoon, and we got out, took like a decent loss, just in and out quick. We moved on a plug, but D-Pro, yeah, this is the much better trade here. At least D-Pro is just healthy chart.
Yeah, it's a category 3. And for some of you in phase 3 that were with me, I think was it day 1, I was kind of teaching you guys, showing you how dangerous it could be on some of these stocks. So if you don't really qualify and not ready to trade something like yesterday, Josh, when I was on this panel, I was trying to mention everybody was like talking, like throwing all these things about the trading this and that. And I tell everyone, first thing I mentioned, and this is what's great about the Money Show, is like, listen, there's a lot of people here just don't understand what a bid and offer is. Some of these people don't even know what a spread is. And we always tell you, when you're a student of ours, first thing we teach you, which is about half the people that are going to fail in trading, is they don't know what's tradable and not. So if you were in phase 3, I think we learned that a very valuable lesson, and it was the stock BE.
Oh, BE, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, we
That
made
one's been
money
on a
on it. We did
tear.
well, but the thing was just nuts. 62 to about 90 it ran to.
You might get one more push on the QBTS trade, and that likely would be the Rigetti stock too. Oh yeah, Rigetti's doing better. Rigetti's flying.
Genevieve, and I'm glad you said that because Genevieve wrote something pretty cool. And let me just share that in a trading, people here on social media.
Yep.
Just copy and paste that so you guys can see. Genevieve's one of our students here, and he said, we always have a teacher have a second list, and with that second list, it always kind of helps you. Uh, Sometimes they just come out of nowhere. You're working off the big percentage gainers, and there's nothing really that sexy out there. And all of a sudden, you see something like this, and like you just found on that, that one stock, and they take off. Absolutely.
Yeah, QBTS just broke a new high right now, so quantum is holding up pretty well this morning.
You know what? Also, I forgot to mention too that moved pretty well. That was on the list. It's moving every day. The Beyond Meats. That was another one that's doing pretty decent. That had a good move yesterday, and looks like it's starting to make a new little high today. Big bounce on that. That's been a really good swing trade, down to $1.20. It's almost about 100%. Cheap stock. If you bought 5,000 shares of that stock, you made $1. You did pretty well in 3-4 days.
It's filling the gap right now too, just from last week.
Yeah, so it's right, and it's there. You know what I mean? It's like you got the support levels back in May and early September, so it did make a hell of a comeback.
Bitcoin's starting to make a small little pullback just off the highs, and just we're getting closer towards 1030 reversal. Just keep that in mind there.
That was a long 30 minutes.
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe the can made it a little bit long because it was a little slow going up, but it was good for about 12, 15 cents.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down on a swing trade right now. I got excited. I took it when I probably could have just waited. But stock from earlier this week, PATH. I'm just mentioning because for as much as we talk about winners, right, we got to talk about the losers and just the reality of, well, yeah, not everything is perfect. So I'm down on PATH, but doing good otherwise. And the SMCI trade, by the way, listen, we've been calling out for a couple of weeks, even a few weeks, you could say. It wasn't perfect immediately. I took a loss on it at first,
Mm-hmm.
jumped back in, after a little bit, and been doing better, but it's not always going to be perfection.
Yesterday's phase 3, for everybody here, we had a stock that was pretty volatile in the morning. And if we didn't get out of it, we were making money, and then we end up losing 9 cents on it. And thank God we got out of it, because it would have been like a 60-cent loss. So, remember, I tell everybody the big reason why most people are here that you learn is not to tell you what's going up and making money. It's to control those losses. That's the biggest issue. Nobody likes to take a loss. Everybody gets greedy, but just go to the next one. You know what I mean? Just go to the next one and don't get distracted.
So right now I'm seeing a little difference here. Rigetti is holding a little bit better right now than the QBTS. QBTS is pulling back just a little bit. Rigetti's holding.
Andrea's calling the CIGL. If you can get past that resistance levels, then maybe, Andrea. Like right now, I'm still not sold on it. Grant, I'm happy. Yeah, it had a happy belly when you were here. Rich is calling the TSHA approaching its pre-market highs.
Yeah, it's trying to break out here. It was so choppy before, so I don't have any trade in it myself, but it's trying to push.
It's a number 2 on the most active list, 56 million. It's just right underneath TSLL. But yeah, I mean, if it can get, do I have it? Oh yeah, I do. The problem with this is the level 4 looks horrible. You see it? It's like Legos.
Let me see. I was going over that. Yeah, definitely. I see it there.
You see it? It looks hard. It's the only problem with it. I don't like.
For one of our new gold students, I was telling him just earlier this week in coaching, just anytime you have that, you just move on. You say, all right, it's all right, not for me.
Because you're losing that advantage. That's what you're looking for. You want to find clean, support and resistance, big iceberg orders.
There was a stock from earlier today, and you put it on the list there. Yeah, it's down so much from, what was it, Tuesday? DKI. It got crushed. I just still am kind of poking at it here a bit. I wonder if it's going to pop back up later on, but If you want to know how much lower a stock like this can go, it can go down another $1.19.
Well, I just was watching. Now you bring that up. I'm looking at. I had it on the watch. I think I had it on, yeah, I had it on the watch list. The UFG, same thing. Got destroyed yesterday. Went from 8 all the way down to $1.
Oh, geez,
And
yeah, it's the same exact thing there. This one's more lively though. This one has some more.
yeah, nice little pop. I mean, it bounced almost $1. It opened up at this morning at right around at $1.20. It's at $1.86. I mean, it's not a pharmaceutical stock, which we know they don't come back.
QBTS is breaking a new high right now, so there we go, and as well as Rigetti. Rich, yeah, you've been calling out that Ondas stock, ONDS. That's such a nice move too. 100% tradable.
Yeah, that thing has been. You know what? That thing is moving up really nice. It's been a really good swing trade.
Yeah, and listen, Rich was on top of that for a bit. I know Genevieve commented on it herself just there. So that was just another one. If you're looking at the chat board, not even listening to us, but like reading the chat, seeing Rich there too. And if you took that Ondas off 850, doing pretty damn nice.
Yeah, it's looking at the last 4 days, it's been coming down. It's been trading kind of ugly, the ONDS, but today obviously it was a great day on it. That's a day trade, you know. Wasn't the best. It was a good swing trade. A little nasty. It kind of reminds me a little bit like the PL. You had that big swing and things going up and you're doing well. And then all of a sudden you get into like the second and third day and it's making lower lows from the higher low to a low low. And I'm like, and all of a sudden just bad luck happened. Big pop had to buy it back. So it looks like it just broke its Monday's highs of 868.
I took a trade on the QBTS when I'd called it out. I wish I did Rigetti, but it's just as good. The only thing on QBTS for me is the daily chart's so strong, but there's just some wicks from the last couple of weeks where you just got to watch out here. Keep your eye on the bid and also keep your eye on the time for reversal time there.
Getting back to stock, we were like second guessing, like not second guessing, but like we told you, be careful, Josh, when you're doing your coaching. But Michael's bring up the TSHA. Yeah, we're getting a nice little pop on that too.
I thought you were going to bring up the one I messaged you on.
Yeah, just remember, it's pretty volatile stock.
Yeah, this one's at least going in the right direction.
Yeah.
The one I messaged you about broke below the iceberg, so that one's dead in the water. On the QBTS, I just want to mention this. I went back to yesterday's heat map. I'll try and post this even here for our students and members in our room. But there was a pretty big iceberg order yesterday at the price $28.50. Right now, there's also one at $28 you got to worry about now too, but I'll just show you this. And even more so in phase 3, Fausto has the chance to go over this, myself too. But even further in our coaching program where I work with you just privately, it just gives us more of an intimate conversation to go through this. But on the QBTS right there, kind of interesting. You have an iceberg at 28.50. It was out there yesterday too.
UFG got halted. Oh, I spelled it wrong on the room.
Yeah, nice V pattern there. It actually tanked right before the market opened. It actually got halted on the way down after the open there too. Pretty interesting.
Yep. But it looks like everybody's starting to jump into it.
For the QBTS trade, I definitely would like to see if this can go up towards 28. If not, maybe that 28.50. You don't want to get too greedy though. The QBTS wasn't on our list. It wasn't really something I was that serious about before we saw this pop. That's where you could always just be happy with what you could take. I'm happy with what I can get in the market, Fausto. It's money I didn't have before the opening bell hit.
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
That's it. Now, if like you say it, I say it all the time too. We say it together. You can never go broke taking a profit, right?
Never go broke taking a profit. I say that's our slogan all the time.
Here's the
All
thing,
the
though.
time.
You kind of can. Now, from the defensive side, you can never go broke taking money. It's money you didn't have beforehand.
Right.
But let's say if you take your classes, you go through your coaching, you do your classes, and you hear us say all the time certain things like hold into the close, right? Well, if you don't trust that, if you don't trust the cyber clock and you only get out with 5 stinking pennies, then the stock pops up 85 pennies,
Mm.
you kind of can go broke there if you don't maximize your opportunity, right?
Uh-huh.
But that's obviously different. So you could say that on the defensive front, but on the offensive front too, like Alex and Bill and Roseanne, Bell, a lot of our great traders here. When you start understanding how the market works, what to look for in a trade, that's where you can try and challenge yourself. Hold on a bit longer when you need to. Rigetti is flying. Oh my god, dude, what is
It's
going
like,
on with this thing?
it's also pretty strong. I don't know if anybody here got jumped into it, but the hood's been holding here pretty strong too.
Which one was that?
Hood.
Good. Yeah.
I'm just wondering how much if this thing consolidates here. I mean, this thing could be like a $200 stock. This is probably the best performer, as a brand name stock now that people are always still very skeptical of the company itself. Out of all of them, doing amazing.
Instantly when they got added to the S&P 500, or like when that change officially happened on the 29th, that's just when it took off. Between
That's
that
big.
plus the Bitcoin and plus also, hey, like you said before, the pattern day trade rule thing coming to an end, a lot of brokerages like Hood, Webull are probably going to benefit from that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. Well, Bull. I'm still a fan of it, but it's not going anywhere until they actually start showing that they're making money. On the next earnings announcements. I'm glad I got out of it because that was a waste of positions holding, doing nothing. We did well on it, but I thought that was going to do better after with the IPO when it ran for only $80. I thought that maybe this is a nice little bottom here, but hasn't really gone anywhere. I'm still I'll buy. Listen, I'll pay $20 for it, 25. If it start moving up, I'll jump into it. But as of right now, your money's better well spent on something else.
I I kind of like Intel right now. Intel's going back up a little bit here. It broke back over a big iceberg level from yesterday at 36.
Yeah, I own that too. I don't own that much of it, but I do have a piece of that.
It's a grinder right now. It's going up steady but a little slow.
So let me tell you a funny story. So I couldn't really talk about it too much in the morning meeting because we're very short with time, Josh. But just to kind of, some of you probably heard this story before, and I'll tell you again. Back, who here remembers who was it who traded back in the financial crisis? Anybody here in the cyber group room traded back then? I don't know, here on social media. Anybody here on YouTube or Instagram? Anybody here trade on it? Just looking over there. Just give me a yes or no. Tim, that was one of the scariest times that I tell you, like that. I really thought that was, to me personally, was worse than COVID. Like, I mean, people going to the banks trying to pull out the money. They couldn't get the money. The banks going out of business. I mean, that was really something scary, you know? Um, and then when you really heard about what the banks were doing, they didn't even have your money. They basically, all the money that you had, because now all of a sudden, like, they were not insured, to cover all the money was at the banks. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? If I got $1 million in the bank, you're only covering 100 grand. You mean I could lose my 900,000, And I don't know if you know this, Josh, but they were like, they could lend 10 times of your money. So if you gave them 100,000, they could lend out a million. And if they lose it, that's your money. And some
Yeah.
people didn't know that. Freaking crazy. So anyway, long story short, the banks, the wonderful, fabulous 5 banks showed up to see Obama, and they went to the White House begging from the bailout, and they played him so bad. And don't take this the wrong way, everyone, but they really did play them. They're not stupid. They're there for a reason. You know what I mean? That they're the CEOs of the company. But just to let you know what they did, but they never wanted to say this. They begged for money. Please help us bail. And they really had no choice. And I get it. They had to do something. They said, okay, we're going to give you this money, but this is what you have to do. You got to give loans to everybody. You know what I mean? It made them sign all this stipulation that they got to do this for the people, they got to do that for the people, and they were just like, yeah, whatever you want. You know, just say like begging on, yeah, listen, yeah, whatever you want. You know, you want me to make them dinner and yeah, whatever you want. So I'll never forget this day. I'm watching Citibank trading, and I remember it was in Canada, and I remember when the stock was like 15 and it dropped down to 8, and people were crying, like, "What are you guys doing?" Then it came to the point, and I keep telling you that's where the next support levels. I'll make a long story short. The thing dropped down to $1 and a penny. Okay, it was one of my best trades ever, my worst trades ever. And I saw this iceberg order out there for 1 million shares, and the guy was not leaving. He was not leaving. This was after the meeting that they had, in the White House. And they were just buying it for about half a day. And it was just refreshing and refreshing and refreshing. Now, remember, Citibank at $1. And I said, screw it. I bought like 50,000 shares of the stock. I
When
said,
was
this
that,
is
like a
definitely
dollar
the buy.
thing?
Huh?
When was that, $1?
It was at $1 and a penny. Didn't break. Remember, once it goes under $1, you know what the rule is. Things change.
Yeah.
End up buying it. I bought 50,000 shares of it. And I'm like, okay, and believe me, this is like the worst of the worst news. Like, this is the end of the world. Then the stock started going up, and the next day it went to $1.50. So I'm 50%. So stupid like me as a day trader, I'm like, you just said it yourself. Can't go broke taking profit. Well, I made that money and I sold it. I took the money. I'm like, it's a lot of freaking money. So I took the money, I ran, and and then the stock within 3 days went to $5. I'm sitting there like, oh my God, that was like the dumbest trade ever. I bought. But anyway, getting back to what happened with the banks, what they did, they had all these stipulations, to go out there in the market that they promised, promised the White House that they were going to do. You know what they ended up doing? They took their money, they bought all their stock. They just said, listen, we're going to invest back into it. They went to the market, they bought our stock, they got it to a price that got them stable, and they said, yeah, you know what? We have second thoughts. Here's your money back. We're giving you money back here. And the president's like, well, what do you mean? No, we don't need your money anymore. We're fine. We're good. We didn't need it. All bets are off. They're like, but what about all these promises you did? Well, we don't have to do it anymore. We want out. Here's your money back. So they gave them all their money back that they borrowed. So meanwhile, they made all the stipulations of giving loans to this bank, these people, that. And they said, they're like, I'm not going to do that for them. Screw that. And put us on the be their partners. They gave them all their money back. And the banks totally give them a big middle finger. And the banks obviously did great. And you can see where they were. So they bailed themselves out by buying their stock back. So that's how they basically, worked out. So the difference back then till today, what I kind of bring, I'm sorry, going to a rant, but when I hear with President Trump going out there and like, we're going to lend you, like Intel, you money. And Intel's like, yeah, we'll give you the money. No. We're going to be partners. I don't want the money back. No, we just want a piece of your company.
Yeah.
And sure enough, you see it's working out pretty well for them because you're bringing up Intel. So they're like, you know what? It's an American company. It's been a great company. We don't need the money. We'll bail you out, but we're going to be partners. So what better is that? And sure enough, it's worked out pretty well. So that was like my biggest lesson I learned about how the market really worked back then. And like I said all the time, if you ever get the opportunity, watch the movie The Big Short. I say it all the time, and you might watch it 2-3 times. Best movie ever, and it'll explain to you exactly how the financial crisis obviously happened. But and believe me, there's gonna be another situation like that. But I think that was probably the scariest market I've ever seen in my life. Worse than 9/11, worse than COVID, worse than all that. Chuck's calling ASTS. Big pop on that one too.
Yeah, so some things are moving up right now. NVIDIA just broke back over a big level at 190. There's a huge iceberg order, Fausto, in pre-market for NVIDIA. It got filled there early on.
NVIDIA, like I said, the next biggest resistance levels is at 200. They got a 1.3 million share seller out there. I know they're waiting on the White House to give them some access. Some of you might disagree with this, and I also disagree with it, to try to get the okay to do business with China with their chips. Listen, they're all about listen, corporate America is a sleazy people. They don't care. They just want to, they just want to make money. You know what I mean? They worry about their shareholders. So if they get that deal, it's doing great. But yeah, NVIDIA has been hovering here since August at these numbers. Great consolidation, doing great. Big resistance was right around that 180-ish. Finally, it broke it, and now we're breaking all-time highs. Now, remember, this stock did a 10-for-1 stock split, so this stock technically is like $1,900. For some of you don't know that.
Yeah, that's true. Wow, I forgot about that for a split second. I remember that though. Yeah, that's what made this so much more tradable. Once they did that split.
Leland said that's a pretty cool line. That was a great line. I want to short everything that guy touches.
Well, the market is pulling back a little bit more right now. So for stocks like Nvidia and Intel, just be mindful of that. Like they're strong still today. They are. But if the market keeps dipping a bit, just probably going to pull back over time.
For some people here watching on social media, I'm just going to pop up that QR code one more time. We're going to be logging off in about less than 10 minutes. So if you want to get into the 12 o'clock workshop that we're going to do, that's going to teach you how we find these stocks and everything, take your phone, scan that QR code. You got up on top left-hand side. So just please make sure you do it. If you like what we're doing here all day, you could be here all day for all, so all you have to do is just don't worry about next week and be around for the next hour and a half. Just go there now, and also give you a little heads up by being into that workshop. So do that before we log out. Well said. Thank you very much, Chuck. I'm glad you liked it. Listen, it's as you know, when you got your money on the line, this is what I always try to tell everyone, and that's what was crazy yesterday, Josh, when I was on this podcast. Like I can't compete with them. These guys are freaking smart people. You know what I mean? Like but they're not traders. They're not market makers. You know what I mean? They look at numbers. They look at, but they don't see what we see, which is that the right of the chart. And they think that they know with all these numbers come out. But I don't trust the government. You know what I mean? Like now you're hearing stories that Biden lied about the job numbers. And and then Trump fired the girl, and now, and you don't think Trump's going to lie to make himself look good? You know what I mean? Like, you don't know, but that's why you just got to, these banks, these people, they know what they're doing. You just got to follow these orders. Don't try to overthink it. Everyone's going to try to, like, I know these like brokers, they always call you up and like, they try to hold you in because they don't want to lose you or embarrass themselves. I've learned that too. Listen.
This Rigetti trade is just, I'm sorry, this thing is just ridiculous.
Rigetti?
RGTI, when is this thing going to drop? QBTS is not making that type of move. It's like trying, but it's not Rigetti.
That stock is just been breaking an all-time high. It's been $15 at 34. It's the beginning of September. That so far has, between that and the PL, is probably the two best percentage. PL is probably the better one of the two, and a lot cheaper, but those been probably the best performers, better than Tesla, going into the month of September as a swing trade. But it's been a great day trade today too also.
Getting my push on QBTS now. It's kind of like, you don't want to do this all the time, but if Rigetti's flying up as much as that was, you just look for a little resistance, and actually QBTS broke through a small iceberg, and as soon as it did that, it just took off. You know what? I'm going to call this one out, Fausto. Like it's worth just mentioning the EOS stock that was on the watch list. You got a 70,000 share buy order just showed up. So maybe over time that could like come back up. Might take a bit, but just big iceberg. Good to see. I'm kind of happy we avoided the TSHA in terms of just putting our focus here in this broadcast towards other trades. It was on the list, but very choppy move.
Did you see the orders on Rigetti?
No, let me see.
35 is a pretty big one. 140,000. So we just barely touched it. It was 34.87. We talked about that in phase 3 too, why that is. So can it break it? Of course, but someone's got to be willing to pay 145.
I'm going to take the money and run soon on QBTS only because it was just a quick entry that I didn't have much of an exit plan on. I assumed that it was going to go up with Rigetti. This is where, again, this is a good example of you can't go broke taking a profit. You know, if you're up 30, 40, 50 cents a share, like, listen, even on 100 shares, that's good money, you know, just quick trade.
Mm-hmm. I mentioned before, Josh, that I didn't know this, but TSLL paid a dividend.
Yeah, so you type that. So is that like
Yeah.
a monthly thing or what's going on with that there?
I don't know. I got to look, but it's definitely a monthly thing. Rigetti's getting close. It just took out the 35. Rigetti just took out the 35, the 140,000 share seller. So it's probably going to do a slingshot right here. And then it might make another pop. But yeah, that definitely was a great trade. Yeah, I mean, like all these stocks, I didn't know it paid a dividend. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, I got my father-in-law. For some of you know this, I really haven't really played. I like the dividend plays, and CSQ has been pretty good. Paid about 8% a year, and he was like ecstatic. He's like he had this money. He's like, I better giving it to you, Fausto, than put it in the bank and get 2%, 1%, 2% these things. But it was pretty volatile, and it did go down. It came back, but I don't know about you, but like I don't know anyone here, but I didn't really know too much about these high yields till a couple of months ago. And then I was telling him about it. He's like, we're in this high yield, Dad, and it pays like 120% interest. He's like, that doesn't make any sense. He's like,
Yeah.
that makes 0 sense. Who will pay you that? And how's that? I'm like, it does. And sure enough, he's like, he calls me every day. He goes, how we doing with that stock, Fausto? How we doing? I'm like,
When you hear something like that, the first thought would be like, that can't be real. Like, what are you talking about? And then, like, obviously, if you look into it, you're like, oh, wait, that's actually possible. So, just the only thing you got to realize with those dividend plays, like the high yield, is that the ticker will drop off over time because they pay out on the dividend there. But it's just more something that you're doing to collect the dividend. And I know you brought this up even just yesterday. That's why you want to do more of the weekly ones recently, right?
yeah, you do the weekly ones because sometimes you feel like, I don't want to sell it yet because I didn't get my dividend check yet. But meanwhile, it's going down. But some of them really got beat up pretty hard. Some got really beat up. Like, the TSYY, the beginning of the year was $25. And then since July, it's been hovering between 10 and 8. So that's not bad, 10 and 8. But it's paying you $270 a week, on 1,000 shares. So if you lost $1, you lost $1,000 in 4 months on the value of the stock, but you're making $1,000 you're making $1,000 a month on it. You lost 1,000 in what, 5 months, but you made, 1,000 a month. You're ahead of the game.
Carlos is saying here in our chat, and we're going to just jump off in a couple here at least, but Carlos saying they came out with a new ETF around $50 and it paid 19 cents twice a week. 2 times a week. That's crazy.
Which one was that?
Yeah, which one is that, Carlos? Good question there. By the way, the QBTS, it is approaching that iceberg at 2850. We had posted a picture in the chat board with Bookmap kind of explaining that order was out there yesterday.
All right, traders, me and Josh are going to get off the mic. I know we got some coachings coming up. For some of you, have some personal coachings. We'll be back here at 12 o'clock. I got the QR code. So if you're watching here on social media, feel free to come and join us. And we will be here live again, doing a training course for you. For everybody else, we'll see you in a little bit. Don't go anywhere. We're still going to be trading here. If you're new here to cyber trading and you're a trial member, hope you guys are enjoying it, having some fun. Remember, you got to learn before you could earn. Hopefully you're doing the 3 L's we told you. Look, listen, and learn. And if you want to continue your education with Cyber Trading University and see why I've been doing it for 35 years and seeing how these people are making, doing well, controlling losers and, running with these stocks like these high yields, talk to Education Advisor and I'll tell you a little bit more about how to be part of CTO. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back at 12 o'clock, but we'll still be trading here all day. We're just going to meet Josh and Richie and get off the mic. All right, we'll see you then.
See you guys.